Hi and welcome to my channel. This is Na. How is everybody doing out there? Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year. Today is the first day of the new lunar calendar. And Gong Hai Fat Choi to all those Chinese people out there, Chúc Mừng Năm Mới to all the Vietnamese people, and Happy New Year to everybody else. This is like my first update of 2019. It has been 2 months, I think, since I've done my last update. So January was pretty bumpy. I now go in, I was supposed to go in once a month for treatment for that IV drug to help my hand. But in January, I tried to go for that 1 week treatment. The first 2 days went great. The third day, I started getting all the side effects. So extreme nausea, extreme headaches. And then Thursday was bad. Friday, I just couldn't even finish the session. So went to see my doctor, and we've decided that we're going to try to give it a 2 month off and try again in March. So hopefully that works. My hand is actually doing a lot better. I don't feel as much pain as before. I can tell that it's healing underneath the dead parts. And hopefully the dead parts will fall off soon. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall off soon because it's pretty stuck on there. But hopefully as the underneath starts becoming healthy and grow out more, the the dead parts will just kind of get pushed up to the surface and hopefully fall off soon. It's sticking out a lot more. It's harder for me to put on gloves for dialysis and stuff, but other than that, it hasn't caused me as much pain as before. I'm like 1/10 of the pain for sure. I'm still taking hydromorphone for pain in my hand, but for most days I don't need to take the short acting hydromorphone. But yeah, so other than that, my hand's doing good. In my previous video, I got some feedback that you couldn't really hear me, so I'm trying out this microphone. I do a lot of my recordings on my iPhone because it's just easy, and I don't have a vlogging camera. Maybe next year or this year, if I start wanting to do more like vlogging type videos, I might invest in a camera, but they're pretty expensive. Like a good vlogging camera costs $400 to $500. And right now, the frequency that I update my YouTube channel doesn't feel like it's worth the investment. I've said so before, it's hard for me to do video updates because I'm never home alone. I feel really awkward talking to a camera when there's people around. So I usually wait until I get some alone time, or if Daddy's just home, I'm okay with doing it in front of him. But when my parents are home, they just think it's weird that I'm talking to a camera. They don't understand. So yeah, so I got some feedback that you couldn't really hear me, so I'm just trying out using my iPhone microphone. If this works better for everybody, I might see if I can find like a better microphone that maybe you can't see in the videos, but for now, I'll just use this one. This year, I also got my stubbies back. It's been about 6 months since I've been on them, so I've started training on them. I've had about five sessions with them now. I have at home. I have home care physio come to my house twice a week, which, living in Canada, I feel really grateful because you have all of these services that help you when tragedy occurs. Like something happens with you health wise, they're there. Like they were there. Home care was there to help me through everything. Home care, social work, home care nursing. The social worker was awesome. The occupational therapist was awesome. Like she's the one who filled out all the papers that I needed to fill out to get all the tools I needed to survive in life now, which included like my wheelchairs, my cushions for my wheelchair, my commode, my walker, my cane, anything I needed, she was there to help me get. And living in Canada, I was able to get all of those for free. Like every year you have to pay a 500 deductible, but after you pay the first 500, everything else that year is free. So, which is amazing to me. So, I've got probably over $20,000 worth of equipment for free that I use on a daily basis to help me get through. That includes my prosthetics as well, and they're really expensive. So I'm really grateful that I live in Canada. If I lived in the US, I probably wouldn't be as healthy. I might even potentially be dead. And so I'm just really grateful that we live in Canada, that my parents didn't have to go bankrupt to help their ill daughter. Like I can't believe that parents have to make that choice in the US. Like, do they remortgage their house? Where do they get the funds from if their child becomes sick? you just, like, I can't even imagine. It must be heart-wrenching for people living in the US who don't have health care. We not only do we have health care in Canada, we have like disability supports from the government through CPP disability, through like in Alberta we have AISH, which is Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, things like that. And I've been on AISH before. When I first got diagnosed with lupus, I was really sick and I couldn't work and I couldn't go to school. And I applied to get AISH and I did get it. And they give you an allowance each month. And thank God I lived at home, because the amount that they give you definitely is not near the amount that you need to be able to survive. Like, you wouldn't be able to rent a place on your own. Like you wouldn't be able to pay rent. Like, and you wouldn't be able to afford a mortgage. Like, there's no way. So I'm really grateful for all the government supports we have in Canada and such. There's Peanut. He's gonna start whining or barking because he wants to sit on my lap. So, so my fingers updates is it's going great. I'm just waiting for things to heal now, and I'm just surviving. But stubby training coming along. Home physio comes, sees me twice a week. Every 2 weeks, I go into the hospital physio and see my physiotherapist there, who makes sure that the stubbies are fitting. My prosthetic guy comes and meets me there every 2 weeks to make sure my prosthetics are fitting okay. I'm still on the tester ones. He hasn't made my permanent stubbies yet. So if these ones fit well and they're working for me, then we'll definitely go ahead and make the permanent ones. I had the problem before, if you go back into my videos, with the old prosthetics, is, with dialysis, my weight fluctuates from day to day by like 1 to 3 kilograms. And all of that fluid literally sits in my stumps. So when they sit in my stump will change in diameter and thickness. And so the stubbies won't necessarily fit. So finally they made this pair, and I will show you shortly. And they gave me this new liner that is easier to put on because of my hands and compared to before. They were really hard to get on. I always needed help to get them on. But the ones that I have now, I can do by myself. So I'm going to take the camera off the stand, excuse me, because my hands shake a lot. So the next following footage probably won't be as stable. Okay, so these are my new liners. These are the liners I wear when I want to put on my stubbies. So the difference with these are, this part, it comes off. And in my last pair, this rubber part, which is the part that creates a suction so that you can put your leg into the stubby, it was actually part of the liner. So in order to flip them open, flip them inside out so I could put them on, and then to get them on was really hard. Whereas now, these liners, I can put them on with myself, even though I have a gimped hand. Like this hand, I don't have fingers. I can't use my fingers, really. I can put on these liners myself. So the liners go up to my hips. And then I slip these on afterwards. So it makes it quite easy. So I slip these on afterwards. There's Peanut. He's always supervising what I do, and Butter chilling under bed. So I can slip these liners on really easily, and then this part is what creates the suction. Now, these are my new stubbies. They probably add a foot to my height, so without stubbies, I'm about 3'8". With the stubbies, I'm probably about 4'8", maybe a little bit shorter. But that's just how far I am off the ground. It's about a foot. These liners, before, it used to only be made of the silicone. Oh, my finger's in the way. It used to only be made of the silicone here. And so it wouldn't expand or contract with the size of my leg as it fluctuates with dialysis. They now cut this hole in here, and then they made this part of this flexible silicone type things. And so this part will actually expand out a little bit out of the plastic part when I need it to, and then suck better when my legs are a little bit skinnier. So it's been working out well. I haven't really walked in these yet. There's still some pressure points that cause pain, but I'll get over that. And then, so yeah, these are my stubbies. This is my walker that I got from the program. Because I put a lot of weight on the handle part, we just taped some athletic tape on there, along with it's like a foam. We put foam on here, and then athletic tape on top. This will help me grip. Unfortunately, with my stubbies, I'm still really short, and so the height of my walker is still too tall for me, about a foot too tall for me. So when I'm training at home, it's hard because it feels like I'm actually just standing on my stubbies, and I don't really have anything to lean on. But yeah, other than that, that's just what's new right now is me training on my stubbies. I'm driving a lot less nowadays because it's winter. Okay, so that wasn't really exciting, but anyways, that's my new stubbies and my new liner that I wear um, when I train now. I go see the physiotherapist tomorrow at the hospital, so maybe I'll ask Danny to do some footage of us training on the parallel bars. When I'm at home, the physiotherapist at home just train. His goal is just to work on endurance, so he's just trying to work me up to just being able to stand on my stubbies for longer. Right now, I can do it in 4 minute intervals. I do like today. I did 6 intervals of 4 minutes, 6 times of 4 minute intervals. Next time I'll try to do more than that and then continue growing on that. And hopefully I'll be able to stand much longer. And then therefore when I start walking, I'll be able to walk a lot longer. The stubbies are aligned right now for the posture I had. So I think they have to realign it a little bit better now that I'm getting stronger. My back is getting stronger. My butt's getting stronger. When I'm standing on my stubbies, the misconception is that I'm actually standing on my stump. But the truth of the matter is I'm actually sitting on my butt. So I don't know if you can imagine it, but if you can just imagine yourself as sitting in a giant jolly jumper, basically that's what it is. I'm basically sitting on my butt bone, like my butt bone. Not my spine, like not my spine bone, but it's on my butt bone. And I'm actually sitting on the stubbies. And then I'm not really standing or putting much pressure on my stump ends. So yeah, I'm not standing in that manner. I'm just really literally sitting, but standing, if that makes sense. So when I'm actually standing on my stubbies, my butt burns like hell. It's as if I'm doing squats, but I'm not. And my lower back hurts a lot. But yeah, I'm getting used to it and stuff. So it's been exciting. Since I've been on disability, I can't believe it's now been 2 years since I've been to work. I can't believe it's been 2 years. Like, 2 years has flown by so fast. And I really don't know where the time goes. Like, weeks go by so fast. Days go slow sometimes, but like sometimes they go by so fast too. People ask me, what do you do at home? Like, what do you do all day? Because sometimes I don't leave the house for days. Like, it is so cold in Calgary right now. I think it's like minus 30 something outside. And then with wind chill, it's probably like minus 40 something. But it's so cold outside. When it's cold outside, I just do not want to leave the house. Like, if I don't need to leave the house, I'm not leaving the house. Like, being in a wheelchair just restricts you a lot because doing simple things like before you could start your car and then run out there like really quickly. But when you're in a wheelchair, everything takes longer. So I'd be out in the cold for like maybe a minute or two longer than like what I would if I had legs. And so it just doesn't. I just don't want to leave the house when it's freaking cold outside. I just don't want to freeze more than I have to. And then like to get from my wheelchair and then sit in it in the actual car seat, it's a lot of transferring and touching cold surfaces. So if I don't need to go out, I'm definitely gonna stay inside. So I've been in the house for almost a week now. I haven't left since I got a massage last week, last Thursday. Probably was the last time I left the house. And I'm gonna leave the house tomorrow because I have to go for a dentist appointment and physio at the hospital. And then Thursday, I have to leave the house. But like, if I didn't have appointments, I probably wouldn't leave the house in this weather. My mom goes, "Let's go to the mall." I'm like, "In this weather, mom, it's so cold." And you know, people don't have to worry about this, but when there's snow on the ground, I'm always worried I'm gonna get stuck. Like our first winter, like last winter, me and Danny learned a lot about being in a wheelchair in winter. I got stuck in so many parking lots because the snow just accumulated so high, or there was just so much or so soft that I would just get stuck and Danny would just not know what to do. One time I couldn't even make it to an appointment because I could not get into their building because I couldn't get out of the parking lot because my wheelchair got stuck. And so I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. So yeah, when it's like stuff like that, you have to consider it's not as easy as like, let's go to the mall. I have to like think about, well, what are the conditions outside for my wheelchair? Is it safe? Is it not safe? Is there a potential for me getting stuck? If so, I'm probably going to stay home. My prosthetic doctor always asks me every time he sees me, he goes, "So have you fallen lately?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't fallen since um, I had a car. I had an accident in the car. I fell in there. That was probably in November. was probably my last fall. And that wasn't even a real fall, really. I just kind of like slid on the ground roughly. But the last large fall was when I fell in Banff and I hit my head. That was my last fall. So you know what he says to me? He goes, well, you're not taking enough risks. He goes, most of my amputated clients or patients, they usually have a few falls a year. And I'm like, serious? I'm like, I'd like to prevent falls. So I'm not going to go out and try to fall. But I'm also not going to go out and do risky things either. I do have like, Danny and my parents are pretty protective of me, so they wouldn't let me do anything stupid anyways. Like they wouldn't let me fall. Like if I fell and they were supervising me, they would feel so bad. So I wouldn't want that to happen. I think it's interesting. But anyways, back to my topic of how time flies by. Like what do I do at home? I dialyze 5 times a week. That's 4 hours each session. That's 20 hours right there. That's just somebody's part-time job. Um, and then while I dialyze, I typically sleep or I just watch YouTube videos. And some of my favorite things to watch on YouTube are mukbangs. Do you guys watch mukbangs? Am I the only like I feel like I'm the only weird one in my group of friends. Like I'm the one who told them about mukbangs, but it's like this phenomenon. Well, I guess it's not a phenomenon, but it's like this video type on YouTube that you can find. It's spelled Mukbang. If you guys are curious as to what I spend most of my time doing, and it's just people eating in front of the camera. They're eating and talking. It's like a vlog, but like they're just eating and talking about stuff. And I don't know why. I just like it. And I love watching people chew ice. I don't know why. Like they have these ASMR videos. I don't know exactly what ASMR stands for. I just know it's about sound and whispering sounds, like sounds that are supposed to be relaxing to people. And so there's a lot of video of people eating online, eating ice, eating weird things. There's ASMR for like glue things, like glitter, cutting up flour foam. Yeah, it's weird. Like if you look up ASMR, that's weird too. So those are a couple of things I love doing and that I waste my time. The biggest thing I waste my time doing is watching Korean dramas. I go through these phases where I watch crazy amounts of Korean dramas and then I'll watch a crazy amount of YouTube and then I'll go back to watching a crazy amount of Korean dramas. So that's basically what I do all day long. And that's what keeps me really busy or makes time go by really fast. That's about it. What do you guys do? What do you suggest me do? I've tried to pick up hobbies, and seriously, I'm so handicapped, it's so hard. So I tried to pick up knitting, and I realized quickly that I have arthritis with the lupus, and I can't knit. It hurts a lot. It hurts. People are like, what? It hurts when you knit? Yeah. Trust me, guys. In 20 years, 30 years, or however old you are while you're watching this video, when you become a senior and you get arthritis, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it hurts. So I couldn't really do that. I tried to take up adult coloring books. Came out as a trend. I tried to do that. Yeah, my hands hurt once again. There's a lot of things I can't do. So if I'm just an observer and watching YouTube videos, I'll just do that. Like, there's not much hobbies I can really have. Um, I try to keep a journal, but really, writing is difficult as well. Typing is hard as well. I can't use my left hand. I type with my whole right hand with 5 fingers and my thumb. That's what I type with. But I can still type pretty fast. I probably type faster than some people still when I use just one right hand and my left thumb. What else do I do? I think that's all I do. My hair's grown out a lot, as you can see, which is annoying because I don't have a shower here. So in order for me to wash my hair, and because I have a gimped left hand, I need help. So Danny's like the best husband ever. He hasn't once made me feel like a burden ever. He's just really awesome. I'm so thankful that God sent him my way and gave me him because I don't think I could go through everything without him. I also have my parents but they have to love me. They don't have a choice. I'm their child. They made me. This is a consequence, okay? This is a consequence of one night of passion, and 40 years later, they're still paying for it. So they have to, whereas Danny doesn't have to. Danny could easily walk away, but he's chosen to stay. And not only has he chosen to stay, but he's chosen to stay and be very, very, very supportive. I'm really lucky to have him. And he takes care of me so great. He helps me bathe, helps me shower, helps me take care of myself. He does everything for me that I can't do for myself anymore. He's probably the reason why I don't get depressed. People are like, oh, you're so chirpy. But you know what? I do have my depressed days. Everybody does, but as long as they don't last longer than a day, then I'm okay. I've never been unhappy for longer than a day. I go through my phases. Danny's used to it, where I cry and have a tantrum and be like, you know, why did this happen to me? Why is this so difficult? Why didn't you just let me go 2 years ago? Those things kind of come up, and they're it's hard to hear, but like that's how I feel sometimes. And I don't want someone to watch my videos and be like, "Oh my God, she's so positive," and that's just what she shows on YouTube. But it's true, 90% of me is positive. I have 5% of me is probably down, and then 5% of me is just oblivious, oblivious to anything that's happening. I just kind of go with the flow. But you just gotta do what you gotta do, Like you can't just give up when everybody around you is cheering you on. Well, anyways, that's my update for now. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like my video. Let me know if there's topics you want me to talk about. I would love to talk about them. Reach out to me on Instagram. You can follow me. My Instagram name is Nacho Mouse. My account is open, so anybody can find me and DM me. I'd love to talk to you if you have questions. Is this happening to you? Is this happening to someone you love? You want to know what to do to help support them. How can you support them? Things like that. I want to be there for you. I want my channel to make a difference to the 400 people that are subscribed. What do you watch this for? Do you just watch it because you're my friends, or are you just watching it for information, or is it just interesting to you? My next video will probably have some more footage of me walking on my stubbies, hopefully in the gym, getting Danny to do some footage there. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a great New Year day, and Happy New Year again. Hope that everybody has a good day, and have a great week. Have a great month, and I'll talk to you later.